We have a lot of people that are relocating to the Space Coast to start their new job at the Kennedy Space Center. Whether you'll be moving here with SpaceX, Blue Origin, NASA, Boeing, ULA, Relativity, or one of the many companies that are at the Kennedy Space Center, this video is going to help introduce you to our area so you can find the right home within about 30-minute drive to KSC. So stick around. My name's Eric Larkin, and I'm a real estate agent here on the Space Coast. And when I'm not making videos like this one, I'm helping people buy and sell real estate. So if you have plans of an upcoming move, let me know how I can help. If you're not familiar with where the Kennedy Space Center is located, it's at the very north end of Merritt Island, Florida. It's kind of a remote location where you have the ocean on the east side. It's surrounded by the Indian River or the Banana River, and it also has the Merritt Island National Refuge surrounding the Space Center as well. There are two main roads to get into KSC. You're either heading north on Merritt Island through State Road 3 to get to the main gate, or you're coming off the mainland from the Titusville area off of the 405 or NASA Causeway. Since I don't know where you'll be working inside of the Kennedy Space Center, all the distances or time for driving to work are all going to be positioned or centered around the main gate to get into KSC. Since KSC is in Merritt Island, we're going to start introducing you to the Merritt Island area as possibilities for you to find your next home. Merritt Island is a big area from end to end, and even though you can access the main gate within 40 minutes, we're going to be focusing on three areas of Merritt Island because I know those are all well within the 30-minute drive to get to the main gate. You've got North Merritt Island, which is north of the 528 or Barge Canal. You have Central Merritt Island, which is between 520 and 528. And then on the east side, you have North Banana River Boulevard that gets you easy access to the Space Center by utilizing the 528 exit. Since North Merritt Island is the closest to the KSC main gate, we are starting our introduction there. Something a lot of people like about North Merritt Island are most of the homes are newer or new construction. They were built somewhere in the 90s up to brand new construction that's happening today. The lot sizes for North Merritt Island are usually around 1/4 of an acre. There are some that are smaller, but most of them are 1/4 acre or larger. There's also quite a few options. If you want an acre or more of land around your house, North Merritt Island's got you covered. Do you have horses? There's equestrian options in North Merritt Island. Do you like to golf? You could be living on the Savannah Golf Course, which is in North Merritt Island. What are your thoughts about an HOA? Let me know in the comments. If you're open to homeowners association, that's a good thing because there's quite a few communities in North Merritt Island that are part of an HOA. And the price of homes in North Merritt Island, even though it's rare to find something under $400,000, the last 12 months sales range between $259,000 to over $1 million with the median sales price of $594,000. Moving on to Central Merritt Island, this is the section between 520 and 528. Most of the homes here are older construction. They were built between the early 1900s to the 2000s. Most of these homes, though, were built in the 1960s and 70s. If you're looking for homes on an acre or more, there are a couple of them in Central Merritt Island, but most of them are 1/4 acre or under. If you want waterfront homes, you've got some great options here in Central Merritt Island. You could live, there's a handful of them on the west side, which will give you on the Indian River. Most of them, though, are off of the Sykes Creek, which will lead you to the Barge Canal and get you to either the Banana River or the Indian River. Most of the homes in Central Merritt Island are not a part of an HOA, even though there are a couple homeowners associations here. Home prices for the last 12 months range from $115,000 to over $2 million, with the median sales price of $395,000. The home sales we did have that were under $200,000, they're kind of an anomaly, and they do need a lot of work before you can move into them, so please keep that in mind. The North Banana River Drive section of Merritt Island is on the east side, and it's also between 520 and 528. Homes built in this area were mid-century from the 1950s to the 2000s. There are some new construction that's happening on scattered lots, or they're tear-downs where they leveled the old house to build something new. Most of the homes here are not in a homeowners association. There's at least one near 528 that I'm aware of. And if you're looking for a waterfront property, this is a good area. There are canal front homes that'll get you access to the Banana River. Some of them could get you access to the Sykes Creek, or you can live directly on the Banana River off of North Banana River Drive on the east side of Merritt Island. And the cost to live in this section of Merritt Island, sales for the last 12 months range from $165,000 up to $1.5 million, with the median price of $460,000. And again, keep in mind the lower price home sales that happened in this area needed a lot of renovation and work. And depending on where you lived in Merritt Island, here are the schools. Elementary, you have Carroll, Mila, or Audubon. The middle school is Jefferson, and the high school is either Merritt Island High or Edgewood Junior Senior High. We're heading to the north end of Brevard County to introduce you to Titusville, Florida, which is also known as the gateway to space. Titusville is a pretty big city, and you can get to the main gate of KSC within 40 minutes no matter where you're living. But the further you are north of Garden Street, or if you're on the west side of 95, it's probably going to be pushing that 40-minute mark. If you're living south of Garden or east of 95, you should be able to do it well under 30 minutes. Since Titusville is our second oldest city in the county, it only makes sense. A lot of the homes here could be considered older as well. They could be anywhere from 100 plus years of age to brand new construction. Most of the homes in Titusville were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. If you're looking for riverfront property, Titusville might not be the best option. There are a handful of homes that are either on the Indian River or have canal access to the Indian River. The waterfront homes in Titusville are more often than not on a pond or a lake, or if you're way west, you might be close to the St. Johns River. If you like a home that's on the golf course, Titusville has some options for you. If you're thinking you want space in a larger lot, Titusville definitely has some options for you to consider too. Really, Titusville offers quite a wide variety of homes. You could find just about any age, any size of home on any lot size that you're considering. You can find it in Titusville. And your opinion of HOAs, thumbs up or thumbs down? There are HOAs that are in Titusville, but most of the homes are not considered in a homeowners association. Home sales for the last 12 months were anywhere from $92,000 to $1.3 million. There were homes that sold for under $250,000. The median sales price for Titusville the last 12 months is $335,000. If schools are important to you, depending on where you live in Titusville, here are some school options. Elementary, you have several options. For middle school, it's either Jackson and Madison, and high schools are either Titusville and Astronaut. And if I didn't mention it earlier, school ratings and school zones are always changing. I recommend you go to sites like schooldigger.com, greatschools.org in order to verify the school districts and the ratings of the schools. Heading south of Titusville, we have Cocoa, Florida. And I'll divide this into three sections. We've got Port St. John, Florida. We've got Canaveral Groves, Florida, and also the city of Cocoa, Florida, too. As we're going through the county and I'm introducing you to other areas that could be close to the Kennedy Space Center and questions pop up, drop them in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. There's also a link that you can click to get on my calendar and we can schedule a call too. Port St. John, Florida is unincorporated Cocoa. I would say it's like a sprawling suburb. There are lots of houses between the Indian River to the west side of the I-95. I'd describe Port St. John as rural, maybe a little country. Now, when I say country, I don't mean that there's homes on large estates. Most of the lot sizes are actually under a quarter of an acre. What I mean is more the lifestyle. It's not uncommon to see quad runners going up the street or maybe going through some vacant land. It's not uncommon to see bass boats or pontoon boats parked along the side of the house or in the driveway. See a lot of RVs in the area too. And again, there's nothing wrong with this at all. I'm just pointing out these are some things that you'll see if you're exploring and trying to see if Port St. John is right for you. Looking at the homes that are available in Port St. John, there are some older homes that were built like 70s, maybe 60s. Those are all on the east side of Port St. John between US 1 and the railroad track. There was a lot of construction from the 1980s to the early 2000s. There is new construction that's happening today. These are not subdivisions, but they're all in the scattered lot. So the builder's buying a lot, they're building a house. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 on the street. Sometimes they're just throughout Port St. John. There are a couple homeowners associations in the Port St. John area, but most of the homes are not in a homeowners association. There are a handful of homes that are on the east side that are on the Indian River, but most of the home sites in Port St. John are dry lots, or they might be back up to a pond or a lake. Home sales for the last 12 months range from 130,000 to 865,000, with the median sales price at 305,000. New construction in the Port St. John area are selling in the high 300s to the low 400,000s. For drive time to the main gate, if you're on the far west side of Port St. John, you can get to the main gate in under 25 minutes. And if schools are important to you, Port St. John has 3 elementary schools, and junior, senior high school both go to Space Coast. Introducing you to the Canaveral Groves area, I would say this section of Cocoa is rural, almost country living here. Most of the home sites are on an acre or larger lot. And when I say country living, I don't mean that it's farmland. I mean that the lots are larger. There's a good chance that you could see horses, goats, or chickens. Most of the homes in the Canaveral Groves area are paved, but there are sections of Canaveral Groves that has gravel roads. But if you're looking for space between you and your neighbors, Canaveral Groves should certainly be someplace you consider. Most of the homes in Canaveral Groves were built in the 1970s to brand new construction. There are a handful of them that were built in the 50s and 60s. Home sales for the last 12 months ranged in price from $228,000 to $769,000, with the median price being $458,000. And from Canaveral Groves, you can get to the main gate in 25 to 30 minutes. And the schools for the Canaveral Groves area at this time are Fairglen Elementary, and junior senior high is Cocoa Junior Senior High. The city of Cocoa, Florida is on the mainland between 528 to just south of 520. It's got the Indian River as the border on the east side, and the far west side is the St. Johns River. Don't get Cocoa confused with Cocoa Beach, because they're 2 different towns separated by 2 rivers and Merritt Island. I look at the city of Cocoa in a couple different sections. You've got east of US 1, you have the Clear Lake Road corridor, you have west of 95, and there's this triangle between State Road 524 and 528. You've got the old turn-of-the-century homes near the Cocoa Village area in 520 along Indian River Drive. A lot of the homes throughout the city were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. There is new construction happening on the north end of Cocoa. You can find homes on the Indian River, on dry lots, on a lake or pond, and the St. Johns River. Some of the homes are pretty close to the railroad tracks near US 1, and the lot size vary from a small 40-foot lot to multi-acre tracts of land. And for this reason, you also have a nice large price range of homes that are available here in the Cocoa area. You have them ranging for the last 12 months from $72,000 to $1.4 million. There was actually a sale that was $35,000, but it was a tear down strictly for the land. The median sales price was $283,000, and living in the city of Cocoa will put you 25 to 30 minutes from the main gate at the Kennedy Space Center. If schools are important to you, there are 5 elementary schools for the city of Cocoa, and junior senior high will go to Cocoa High if you're living north of 520, and if you're living south of 520, then you'll be going to Rockledge High and McNair Middle School. If you're wanting to live closer to the beach, then Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach could be great options for you, and that puts you in the 25 to 30 minute range from beachside community to the main gate in North Merritt Island. So options to live in Cocoa Beach or Cape Canaveral: you have direct ocean homes, you have direct riverfront homes, there are homes on the canal, there are homes that are dry lots too. Most of the homes were built in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. There are some new construction that's happening in Cocoa Beach at the very south end of town, but these will put you over 30-minute drive to the main gate. Home sales for the last 12 months range from $362,000 to $3.2 million, with the median sales price of $760,000. Something to keep in mind: there are a lot more condo options in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral than there are single-family homes. So if you're interested in learning more about the condominiums, let me know in the comments. If schools are important to you, Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral will either be Cape View Elementary or Roosevelt, and everyone goes to Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High for middle school and high school. As for other sections of Brevard County on the Space Coast, on the mainland, once you're south of State Road 520 or beachside, if you're south of Patrick Space Force Base, then you're pushing 40 minutes or longer for your drive to get to the main gate at the Kennedy Space Center. For this reason, I didn't include Rockledge, Vieira, Melbourne, or Satellite Beach in the video. If you would like information on these areas, certainly let me know and I can provide it to you. I do have a blog post and other videos that I can introduce you to. If you are interested in those areas or have any questions about an upcoming move, we should definitely schedule a call. I'll have a link in the description or the first comment that'll open up my calendar, and you can simply schedule some time and we can do a phone call or a video call. Let me know what you think. My name's Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next show.